So I get where you're coming from with that. I'm just giving you a scenario though. Had you have sold him 2 years ago and you had those two, I'm giving you the example of had you bought those two players, I don't think now in the future you'd be sitting there as Liverpool fans saying we lost Mo Salah and look what crap we bought. Of course, there's a flip side to it. If you sell a star and you replace them with crap, then you're going to be frustrated. But I'm talking about the principle of what we're discussing. I'm actually for a Man United where no player is untouchable, undroppable. We as United fans, and this is where I think we have to be. I saw Goldbridge last night and I disagreed with him on his point, and I only saw a clip of what he said, to be fair. But for me, I've seen Goldbridge and I've seen every Man United fan that makes content say for years, we don't want players that are undroppable. Why can't this guy get substituted? How has he got a new deal? Why is he the face of the club? So now we're briefing the media, no players untouchable. How dare we not have players that are untouchable? That's because we're being emotive. There's a lot of people saying that Mainu should be untouchable. They don't care that Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho were included in that. I know Staffy fucking doesn't care they were included in that as an example, but Staffy understands where I'm coming from. I think that I like this. If Mainu delivers and if Mainu plays well and he stays hungry and wants to be here, he'll be here for a very long time. If he doesn't, if any of those things or a combination of those things exist, we'll cash in on him. And that's exactly what we should do. Man United have held on to players. I love Paul Pogba. I'm so gutted it didn't work out to the level I thought it would. But as soon as him and his agents started flirting with other clubs in 2018, we should have cashed in on him, 70, 80 million, got our money back and reinvested that into the team. We didn't. We carried on paying him really big money and then he left for free. And then you've got this financial black hole that's very hard to replace and a player that was impossible to replace. So people always say, what's happening different now at your club since the ownership changed? This is a case in point of a different strategy. Now, look, none of us know whether it will work out or not, but my gut feeling is positive because it's the same mantra every other fucking club the successful has. No one's untouchable. No one's undroppable. Barada, when he was at City, said it in a podcast he did. Players have about an 18-month period to prove their City quality or they go, whether they're an academy player or whether they buy them. That means no player at City is untouchable. Why are Man United fans upset that we're adopting the policies that, one, we had in our heyday, and two, the other successful clubs use? That's the bit for me that I'm confused about. Would they sell Rodri? If the situation and the price was right, they could, yes.
So if Madrid call them tomorrow, offer 120 million for a defensive midfielder, do you think they sell him?
They may not think. Let's say now he's had the knee injury, that could potentially happen. Let's say the knee injury hasn't happened. They may say no because 100 odd. That's not much more than Caicedo went for. And look at the consistency of him. But if he's at a certain age and
you're basically adopting the logic of everyone has a price.
Everybody's for sale at the right price in football. And
so if Al Hilal want to buy Salah for 400 million, FSG will probably sell him. I hear what you're saying.
And that's an extravagant amount, but you have to weigh up what can we do with these funds. Let's just say when Rodri comes back, he's looking pretty good. But what's he going to be in his 30s? Let's say Real Madrid do come in and say there's 120 million. Maybe City look at it and say, do you know what? With 120 million, we get that in. And what we can do with that, because we can spread the cost, is get Bruno Guimaraes, we can get Zubamendi, and we can get Baliba. Maybe for 180 million, you can get those three players to the buyout clauses, as an example. So you look at it and go, okay, well, we can get rid of someone who's been great for us and bring those three players in. If that's a trade-off, then it's worth it, potentially. I'm painting a scenario. No player should ever be untouchable forever at a football club. It's a ridiculous notion to have, in my view.
But do you rate Maino to the point that you think he should be, as a Man United fan, the future of this club? That's the question.
I do rate him. I don't want him to leave. This is the nuance in the conversation.
So you as well say that he shouldn't be sold. He's untouchable for you.
No, he's not untouchable. I don't want him Me not wanting him to go and me wanting him to be successful doesn't mean with the right situation and the right price, we shouldn't look at it. So I'm including situation and price together here. And if we sold him for £35 million this window, I'd be fuming because that's massively undervalued. If we got offered 90 million for him, and part of the reason for moving him on is because he's demanding, I don't believe the story's true that he wants £200,000 a week, and we should not be giving him at 19 £200,000 a week. We've made those mistakes before, overpaying players when they haven't. It's not even about your age or how good you are. What have you achieved for the club so far? If say he said, I'm not signing a new deal unless it's 200 grand, and then someone comes in and says, well, there's 70 million, 80 million for him, I wouldn't look at it as the end of Man United if we said, well, we're not going to come to an agreement on a new deal. We think it's far too much money for a player your age. We've made that mistake 100 times before in the last decade. We're taking the 70 million. Thank you and good luck. As long as we're investing that 70 million pound in very, very good talent, I'm not going to cry about it, is what I'm saying. I want Mainu to work out, but I'm a Man United fan, not a Mainu fan. Now, if we sell him for 30 million for no real reason, and we don't invest the money into anybody good or at all, then I'll be angry. I can't make a blanket
That's
statement.
literally why I was angry last summer. We sold so many players and bought Chiesa for 10 million. So
no, and I understand that, but the concept, I'm talking about the general concept.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's it. And it's hard to give every scenario because there's 101 different things that could happen. But the general concept of a player being untouchable, I like. Hello, Staffy. You all right, mate?
Hello.
You just woke up. Good morning, mate.
I woke up a couple hours ago. I'm working. Well, what you think this
Good
was?
morning, mate. Good morning.
No. Welcome to Straight Facts Bilarabi. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Welcome to Al Jazeera Sports, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking over.
I was just listening
Nigel
to you.
Farage was right. It's over for you guys.
Also, some breaking news surrounding Manchester United. It's understood that Amad Diallo has signed his new contract with Man United this week. The agreement's done. All documents have been checked and approved by both sides. Slightly higher salary, long-term deal, and Amad stays is key part of the project. So, and after that, they are moving on to discuss Mainu's as well. So they're going to focus. But Amad Diallo has just signed his new deal with Manchester United, according to Fabrizio Romano, and the announcement on that is going to be coming soon. So that's some very positive news for Man United today.
Great news, and he deserves it too. Funny enough, I don't know if people know that him and Mino are the two lowest earners in this club right now. They're arguably top two from, I don't know, our best players, however you want to rank them. So he deserves it. But I thought it was the writing was on the wall. Anyways, the guy, every time he scores a goal, all he does is tap the badge and kiss it. Then I heard people waffling like AFTV saying, "Oh, get me Ahmad Beka for Saka in January, bro. You're not that. Sit on the floor, bro. You're never gonna get our best players to sit on your bench." But no, good for him. And as the convo that you guys were talking about, listen, I was just listening because I wanted to get hear everyone's opinion first. I agree with you, Terry. And here's the thing: I feel like there's been a bit of an outrage since yesterday with United fans hearing about the news. And I don't get why. I feel like first of all, I think there's a weird fetish with United fans when it comes to academy players. I feel like they always think we have the best academy in the world. We have a good academy, but there's a weird fetish with academy players that we can't sell them. When you look at the best clubs in the world historically, they all sell their academy players. Half the players in La Liga are from Castilla, from Real Madrid's academy, but we don't even know that because they sell them early and they make money off them. You look at the league is infested with Chelsea in Man City academy products. Most of them we didn't even know played for the academy, but they sell a lot of them, and that's how they make money. And listen, to be fair, they also had some of their outrage too. I remember last summer and the summer before, a lot of Chelsea fans were upset that we're selling a lot of carbon products. But guess what? People sit here and say, "Oh, why can't we spend like Chelsea did? Why can't we go to January and do this, and that?" If you want that financial flexibility, which we won't have because they had a unique situation with their ownership change and the fact that they had no debt when their no owner came in. So that's a different situation. But if you do want to spend all that money, if you want to be like these clubs, you need to start selling your academy products. And it's not a disrespect to sell your academy products. I actually think it's a flex. I remember 15 years ago or when I started watching the Premier League about 18, 19 years ago, I used to look at in the league. A lot of them were United Academy products. We had so many players all over the place. You had what's his name, Phil Neville, captaining Everton for how many years? You had Nicky Butt playing in Newcastle. You had a lot of players playing all over the league. This whole idea that we're gonna repeat what we did with the class in 1992, you gotta give it up. It's an anomaly. It's a once in a lifetime. You know why it's so good and it's such a special story? Because it doesn't happen often. If the class of 1992 was a regular occurrence and it happens every other year, it would have never been that special. We would have been talking about it 30 years later, because it's an anomaly to have 6 different academy products be on the same team and eventually win a treble together. It doesn't happen. And that's why